Well, rest of many pieces are going to be playing Phil Dreisen. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
And he's going to be on Priest. He also plays Druid. Alec is going to be on Mage, and Sanchez is going to be playing Rogue.
All right, so the fight is going to kick off, and already Phil Dreisen is the target because it's going to be a BM Hunter of Sylar. He's not going to be able to control it. I don't know why Sanchez is hitting him. Maybe they just want to drop some damage, but actually it is going to be Phil Dreisen to go down. Hello, I am a BM Hunter, and I do lots of damage, and why not just pop Deterrence even though you've already got Bop, because it's a cool thing to do. So all right then, that's round one. A little bit of anti-climax to that. Sanchez is going to go down. Now, you can't do anything versus a BM Hunter when he's pop Bestial Wrath, so there's no point trying. The only thing you really need to do is pop Pain Suppression and hope that you can control the other DPS, which is obviously going to be Falcon on the Death Knight. A quick win for the BM Hunter going against this RiMP, which puts them up 1-0. Nagrand, as Matthew said, yeah, Pillars certainly going to be advantageous here maybe for rested many pieces, but certainly as well, they don't have freedom, and I don't know what's going on there. Gates are open, and my camera control is bad. They are going to still try and train Sylar, maybe using him. He has popped Bestial Wrath, and he will just be trying to get onto Phil Dreisen. Phil Dreisen will have to start running through a trap in a moment, and it's going to put him in a bad situation. Goes down to 12k, 14k now. Penance, and he did get it all up. And Sylar is going to be a potential target for Sanchez, and he's going to want to eat up this Hunter. We've already got a Bop, and there comes a Bop and a Deterrent, so 2 big CCs used. But actual fact, as I was saying that, it did seem that Falcon was able to finish off Phil Dreisen, which was very surprising considering Sylar basically left him on 14k. Really shouldn't have gone down in that situation. And X6tence said to me, Matthew, they didn't qualify for TR, and they're really here to play. They're really here to play and say, you know, we're good enough to be at the Blizzard Regionals and good enough to beat everybody.
And certainly Alex and Sanchez are going to have to do more to keep them off Phil, who happens this game to have switched over to Druid. So he's going to be playing Druid now. He did mention that they were capable of doing this.
Well, this is actually his main. Phil's main is Druid. So they have to now see if they can come back from a 2-0 deficit on Phil playing Druid. What does this mean that they don't have? Well, not a lot, to be honest. They don't have offensive dispels. But at the same time, they don't necessarily need it. It's going to be a Death and Decay drop, which did actually get Sanchez out of stealth. And that's going to be a really nice opener. Already Sanchez dropping down almost to half health. It's going to be Death Gripped over Chain of Ice on him as well. It's going to get onto the target of a Sylar. Nice damage onto Sylar at the moment. Maybe Phil Dreisen has a possibility to actually get some Cyclones out onto the healer. It's actually going to be a Cyclone onto the Death Knight while Sylar is going to have to move away. Still a lot of damage onto him. There's going to be a silence onto Phil as they try and kill him, but there comes a tick of the life wounds and he goes up. Sylar goes down, and I said that a little bit late. I was watching to see if the what's the silence of Death Knight's called, Matt? I can't remember. Strangulate was actually going to get him a kill. It wasn't going to get him a kill, and well, Freedom used before a kidney though as well is going to get a Falcon kill. That 2v2 was never going to happen, but from a bad start, they still stuck with their guns and said, you know, we're going to kill this Hunter because no one likes Hunters. It's fact.
It was a dodgy start from Sanchez when he got knocked out of stealth, but maybe they just took X6 by surprise there with Phil on the Druid.
Well, yeah, for Matt's sake, change your name, people. No one's allowed anything
something
more
short
than
and
one
snappy.
syllable. And yeah, all right. So we are going to get kicked off into this. It's going to be Nagrand already. A Justice is put onto Phil. Was actually a Justice of Light. Not going to be. Maybe a Judgment would have been a little bit more successful.
Oh, look at this.
Sanchez taking a lot of damage.
Sanchez actually opened up onto Falcon, and now he's got Sylar targeted, who is dismantled at the moment. He is Death Gripped away.
Yeah, nice death grip away. There comes a Vanish. Going to try and get an open backup. Mutilate just recently used, and honestly isn't getting back onto his target at the moment. In comes the second sprint. Still trying to get onto his target. Gets put into a chains of ice. It's a perfect, actually, disengage comes out. And look at this. Sylar is all the way so far away from his rogue target that they are going to have to switch. And surely someone's going to go down in this situation. Phil does manage to keep up Sanchez for a little bit longer, but actually, and just as Sanchez gets onto Sylar and he got blown up, and there was a bop, and that bop was onto the DK.
Yeah.
DK the bop came in so just late, and it went on to Falcon. Well, no, that's not even late. I mean, you have to just bop Falcon because you misclicked. So that was a bop onto Falcon instead of Sylar, surely.
Providing Sanchez doesn't have timers ready, that's going to give Solar the chance to really get in a lot of heals up onto Sylar. And in the later stages of that last game, Alec focusing almost entirely on damage. I saw hardly any polys come in. And it looks as though they're just playing
look
the
at
pain
this.
game.
And actually, Phil was going to get opened up to really heavy. He has got life balloons and rejuve. There comes a nourish as well. Bark skin already used for Phil Dryzen, trying to get away. Does has aim shot on him. He's just going to get away, but BM is used. Let's switch over to Sylar. He's going to be taking a lot of pressure at the moment, trying to get away from the target of Sanchez. Sanchez is going to be slowed and controlled. He does have blind available, maybe to open up on the kill a little bit later. There comes a death grip, pulling Sanchez out of the fight, and this is going to be the decider. Nice cyclone onto Falcon there. Sanchez gets a little bit more breathing time to get back onto the target. In comes the chains of ice. Anti-magic shield is used as well, so a lot of damage going to come onto Sanchez. Phil might not have line of sight on him. Phil had to come around a little bit there to actually get back onto his target. Poly comes in onto the Death Knight, so Sanchez is going to be kept up for a little bit longer. Targeting Sylar gets put into a chains of ice.
Cyclone just came in on Sylar actually, but
Phil can be swapped onto. They can really swap onto Phil. I mean, I honestly feel Existence, if they can just kite this off a little bit longer, they can get a kill.
Does come in. They are going to swap onto Phil, but he changed into tree form just in time. And Falcon down to 7k HP, 6k. Can they sustain it? Healing onto him?
Oh, and actually, yeah, they are keeping him up just in the moment. There comes a big heal. He gets put into Cyclone. That was so unlucky for Phil Dryzen. He put a Cyclone in to try and stop that big heal coming in, and it didn't come in. It came in just a little bit too late. Phil Dryzen has popped Innovate, though. Following Falcon at the moment, you can see Phil Dryzen is maybe a potential target, but they're going to go back onto Sanchez. Sanchez just used Cloak of Shadows. Let's switch back over to him. There you can see Cloak of Shadows still, well, it looks like it has been used, but he is going to be dipping low.
Both Solar and Phil have used their Innovate, so both of them, both teams sort of equal on mana usage at the moment. Sylar managing to get behind the pillar.
Alive. BM Talon. Sanchez dropping ridiculously low, takes a big 3k hit, followed by two 1ks. There comes a 17k, followed by another. He's just getting crit absolutely everywhere at the moment. Phil Dryzen does have the mana to sustain him. He gets pulled away from his Druid a little bit. A poly did come out, though, to actually help.
Those last few seconds were completely vital. Loads of heals came in from Phil when the aim shot was actually down, but again, Sanchez taking quite a bit of damage. Dropped to 4k, dropped to 6k, 4k again.
Would finish this. He's still taking. He's trying to line of sight the Hunter at the moment. Phil Dryzen does have, ability to heal him, but now he could be potentially swapped to. But the Falcon is going to go low. In comes an improved counterspell from the Druid, because they did switch the Druid, and there comes the kill. Improved counterspell onto Solar on the Druid this time round instead of the Paladin to try and elongate the fight. Still not managing to get them the win, and an RiMP is going to become victorious. And I actually jumped into the game just after the differences, so a Druid being played there from both teams now instead of the obviously the Paladin.